My VIP cohort, ready to lend an ear. For those that don't know me, my name is Phil. Let me give you some better light right there. My name's Phil, and I am the CEO of iPelix. And I wanted to go into a topic that's near and dear to me, conflict resolutions. In everyday life, we're going to be facing adversity. The challenges are a given. Yeah, we need something to frame our way of going about it. And I chose a book named Conflict Resolution 8 Vital Principles. It's by the Life Leadership or Life Essential Leadership series, as it says on the screen. I do recommend them, and the two people that founded it are Chris Brady and Orrin Woodward. Very system engineered people. They were based out of Michigan, got their degrees and so forth. Their services, I would not recommend, but their books, top tier. Don't sleep on them. So, why this is probably what's going through your head right now. And I wouldn't blame you. It is something that's not really talked about. The only other good book that I think that goes into it is Crucial Conversations. That's like the main framework one. Yet it goes into so many scenarios that you're not really coming out with it with like a tactical hit sheet. There's some parts in there, but it can leave you. I don't remember the book as heavily, but this I do remember heavily because of how simple it is. And it's great to have. And the one quote in this corner that gives the why even more emphasis: the quality of your leadership will be determined by how well you handle conflict. Let that resonate for a second. And the last part is what hits. How will you handle conflict is a predeterminant of your leadership. And leadership, no matter how much AI or humans we have, we need to be there. The people that are directing a new front. And this is where we'll be going. So without further ado, let's dive into this book. So the framework goes into 3 parts. The prerequisites. First one, going directly to the source. You do not want to be on your phone sending letters or Zooming them. If this is really of a high tension conflict, it's best to be one-on-one, not in a whole crowd showcasing it. Clarify the expectations. This is one that I failed at myself. We have to put the expectations on the table in the beginning and reaffirm on them constantly, because that's where people understand their roles and goals. And then the third one, this is a hard one for people to get around. Take full personal responsibility and accountability. One second, I need some water. Most people want to blame and push it off to somebody else, but you're the leader. If you take full personal responsibility and accountability, you'll see your life go further. And it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. It's just being at the helm of it. And that's what's the most important. And those at the helm with you, if they have this same type of premise, it enhances. You can just sit back and watch. If everyone in that room takes personal responsibility and accountability, you're with the right people. Because they don't want to blame. They want to look at what the hell's the source. And that's where we're going at. So you now have the prerequisites done. And then you have the 5 steps. Affirm the relationship. This does not mean I have a phone and I give you a phone. No, that's not the way. You need to understand how you function within the society. You can start labeling rather than getting to the heart of the matter. Define the problem. So with defining a problem, you can do it really good or really bad. Defining a problem has to come with empathy and questions, not statements, because it doesn't allow the room to discuss what can be improved upon. Now, if they're drawing blanks and they're not really working it with you, then you might have to look at firing them. And firing is like the taboo word, but in the regards, you have to be quick and swift. and look if they have potential to evolve out of it, or are they just becoming a hindrance. And sometimes the best thing you can do for them is fire them. But other books will explain that, and I'll choose some good ones in the future. Back to the topic. Identify a solution along with seeking to understand. So do not go out there and be understood first. You seek to understand them, where they're seeing. If you have the ability to exit yourself from your own lens of seeing, well, this is me, I, you, am, because you're not going to do it. You have to see in the other person's lens, their eyes. And how can it be done well in that? Because you're yourself. But when you see in their perspective, it just makes it even more better. Now identify solutions. So now the problem is getting to find you're speaking solutions as well as you, and now you're putting blocks together and the puzzle's starting to come together. And then since the puzzle's now together, you execute on that agreement that you've made and go farther into it. And both keep reconnecting. I don't like the word follow up. Don't use it. Use reconnecting, or I have a minute to get back to you because I was on calls. Those type of frameworks will do marvels. Alrighty, let's go down. So you have the prerequisites as we said. Now here's the in-depth part on them. Go directly to the source. Leaders go to the source. Followers talk about it. And why would followers talk about going to the source? Simply put it, they like to gossip and be drama queens or kings, whatever you want to put it as. We will rather take 2 hours to explain something that can be explained in 2 minutes. So if people want to elongate it and you know the answer could have came out in 2 minutes of them just saying it, you got to identify it for them, bring it to light, and if they don't like it, then you got to move on and go to the next. Not in a bad way, just more or less like it's time to start looking for people that are aware of themselves. And self-awareness is a key thing you should look into with people. The second one, clarify unmet expectations. Conflict is always a gap between expectations and reality. And one of the greatest ways that reality can be broken. We spend too much time in fantasy la la land rather than what is the numbers on the sheet. And we really F up on that. That's why we have the KPIs and the OKRs. Yet they're not the end all be all. Because there has to be things that allow fluidity. Because some things need time and R&D. And that's your discretion. Alrighty, to the next one. More in depth on taking full personal responsibility and accountability. Trust is only restored when both parties voluntarily accept responsibility. So, trust. So if you want to regain trust, both parties have to be in agreement with it. And then they have to sit down at the table and look at this in a real powerful perspective. See, we all can improve. There is no denying that. Even in today's world, there's always something that we can improve upon and accept on both ends and really go hard on it. And if people see that we're willing to take these type of things, they want to trust us because we don't want to be complainers and over-explainers. We want to hit the point right on its head and focus on it. Alrighty. So now let's go in depth on the 5 steps since we've already done the prerequisites. Affirm the relationship. This is a great line at the bottom. People don't care how much you know until you know how much you care. And I messed up that word. They know. Nevertheless, care is something so dang important. If you don't care about what you're doing, and it just becomes like the 9 to 5 cycle, and it doesn't like resonate, like I would spend 1 hour and it just pulls me into like the zone rather than just being like, oh, it's another day on the grind and all that. No, you got to show that you care, that this relationship that we're having is really personal to me, and I hopefully to them, because it can really draw out things that have not been known before. So when I say I'm the VIP and CEO of Vipelix, and I'm going to make another scenario, Jack, my marketing director, he knows that I care, that I'm here with them, and those roles are already established before me saying even what the problem is. Now, defining the problem clearly. If I just say, views are 1,000 and I want 100,000 to Jack, that is the worst answer given possible. I haven't even explicitly thought of things that might be our hindrance. Now, let me reframe that or reword it as this. Hey, Jack, I know you're doing a stellar job. We've gone from 0 to 10,000 views, yet I have a goal of 100,000 views. What I might be seeing, and correct me if I'm wrong, the VFX, the thumbnails, and some of the viewership count of how long they're staying on is kind of whimsical. Can you give your input? Maybe I'm wrong. I just want to see, because I want to make sure that we're staying on track to our goals as a company and systems that elevate us rather than take us down. Jack responds. He says, yeah, the VFX, thumbnails, and yada yada. Pause. Do you see where I went with that secondary one? I define the problem as like, you're doing great, so I give praise where it's due, and then I start going after like, these are maybe some of the things. And Jack is now clarifying, yes, these are some of the things you're seeing. Maybe I'm not right on the viewership hold, but maybe that another ad pops up in their face that just pulls them away, and that's a hindrance to the video. Now we have seeking first to understand, and that comes with listening. So when Jack starts speaking after this, I could say, tell me more. And then listen to Jack, and he's like, yeah, we might need a convention or workshop because my skills aren't just there yet. I know I can learn it pretty fast. It's just that I need somebody that's in that field, the feedback loop with it. Interesting. What else after that? Oh, yeah, well, it's about $1,000 convention, and it's going to be held in Boston, and da-da-da-da-da. Oh, how did the $1,000 come to mind? Oh, well, that's what they list on the site, and I'm willing to pay it myself and go there. I see. You're a really go-getter. You're already thinking this in hand. Well, I'm going to tell you, this is going to be on the company, not you. And I'm going to attend with you. I'm going to time block time out of my calendar to see this through. Scenario complete. You see where that went? I started listening rather than just filling in. Oh, a convention. Well, I've been to this convention, that convention, this. What a convention. Now, it might have seemed like aggressive with, $1,000, but I wanted to actually hear what made him think that $1,000 was actually the worthwhile decision. And then he already unveiled it. So I was like, yeah. And then I was going to make the decision to already do that because I believe in that. Boom. All right. So now we have identify a solution. That was already mixed into it. And he said the convention part. So some of these things can flow faster or slower. If we were doing an acquisition, there would be many more parts that the solution will probably need like a checklist for. If something gets too complex, use a checklist. Tip. So in here, it says, what resolution would look like to you or for you? So you keep asking more questions, and it keeps like solving themselves. So Jack says the convention, and you say, what would a resolution look like right now if you could just implement before that convention happens in a month? Oh, well, I could hop on YouTube and go through these people. Good. What videos would you recommend me? And could it be possible to email them to me so I can just take note of it? Boom. Now you have even better solution to enact it today, so you're being prepared for that next convention. create a clear agreement and follow through. I call it reconnect. So now, hey Jack, I know you're going to be probably busy this week. You already got a lot on your plate, and I got some meetings to attend and sales directors. I do want a time block off where you and me just sit back, whether it be on a phone call, a Zoom. Heck, if we can push in person, but it'll be less time because at nighttime I'm going to be at home working on some things within my time block session. Are you down for that? Oh, when's the best time? Mine is this right now, 5 to 6. And he shows, oh, well, I actually have one at 5:30. 5 o'clock, I'm busy on something. Then you book. Now, it's not as simple as that, but you get the point. We're doing a meeting from a meeting, and that keeps us connected with one another. And he can send me feedback in what's going on. So now, we've gone over that. We've gone the prerequisites, and then we got the 5 steps after we followed the prerequisites. So I want to go to the very bottom of this. And let's think. How can we start applying these 8 principles today? You could be at a job with your other coworkers. Maybe they're speaking way too loud and they're interrupting you. Rather than go gossip with somebody behind their back, let's work with them and tell them, hey, this is where you could probably improve. And that'd be good. You could go to the grocery store. See that one person that's struggling to mop the floor, you can provide the insight there. But the bigger application would be a CEO talking to their employee. That's where I see it best. Or a wife and husband going into a really hard debate. The points are not aligning. This is where I think it would shine the best. Between the employee and the CEO and the wife and the husband. Those are where the real points can really highlight best. Because when we get too involved on a default cycle, we'll revert to some, I would say, negative habits that really might not pull us greatly. We might talk a big game, but honestly, we're not doing it. And we might convey in videos and so forth that we're all these things. Yet we're just trying to learn every day with the feedback to make something better from the next day prior. And that's the way we live. So the recommendation on here, read the full book from the Life Essential Leadership. I would not recommend that. We've already done this. If you really want to understand them, you can pick it up. Today, I recommend just attack it. Use action with it. Record this video. Make a note in your notebook. That's where this lives prominently. It is meant to be tactical in all aspects. But FYI, do not forget the prerequisites. It doesn't hit as strongly. In addition, do not use this in a lawyer type setting, because lawyers are built around scrutiny and scrutinizing details. This is where you're doing more vulnerability to rebuild a connection, because that's where power resides. A lawyer, if you try to pull this there, they'll be like, oh, so you're taking full responsibility and accountability. So that must mean that you done it. No, you do not want that. No, do not do that. Just say, talk to my lawyers, and they'll do that, because they're trained on making sure to give the right information, not over-explaining or under-explaining, but getting to the point. And that's where they're built upon. So, cool detail. Be careful with it. Now, if you're talking to a lawyer and you're good friends, yes, you can use that all day long. But if you're in a courtroom setting, do not use that. A better saying is, may it please the court. Something like that. With all due respect, and may it please the court. That was the better one. This is what happened under my impression. You see the word impression? Now you're explaining without convicting yourself, but also your viewpoint, without them scrutinizing that it has to be perfect because you said this was fact. That's where you have to use wordage. And a lawyer can chew me out on this, but it's with all due respect and may it please the court. So you're doing respect and may it please the court. So it built up. 1, 2, 3. And make sure to stand. Those are the things to not forget. And have fun. That's one part. Do not feel so rigid that you can't live your life to the fullest potential. And just keep improving upon yourself. Because most people understand that it's rough and you're trying to implement so many things. And you really don't want to harm people. It's just that you're so boggled down with information that you're trying to piece everything together. And in that, you're doing your best. So, my VIP cohort, I want to leave you with this. Think of yourself as the customer and become the VIP you're meant to be. Deuces.